Alright, hey guys, it's me Sarah, and so just a little background information on what this video you're about to watch is. So for one of my classes this semester, I'm taking a class called Culinary Chemistry, and we got assigned to do an experiment called the naked egg experiment, which I think is really cool. I guess it goes by a few other names, at least according to my parents from when they've apparently done it. I guess according to my dad, he's heard it as the rubber egg experiment. My mom apparently was like invisible egg. Don't know why it would be called invisible because it's not really invisible. But my assignment sheet called it the naked egg experiment, so that's what we're calling it. So yeah. So I started this on the 31st of January. Yeah. So I started at the end of January and finished it around the 3rd of February. So that would have been, when was that? Wednesday. So I finished it Wednesday. I started it Sunday and then finished it on Wednesday. Oh, no, wait, I would have finished, no, wait, I finished it the 2nd. I finished it, not Wednesday. Okay, so I finished it Tuesday, I guess. But literally, it's been sitting. But, yeah, it's been sitting on the vacant desk in my room for about a week at this point. So the whole premise of this experiment is you take an egg, you put it in a container, and then pour vinegar over it. And what the vinegar does is it removes the shell of the egg, but the egg is still intact. So that's what we were assigned to do. We had to put the egg in vinegar and then watch what happens over the course of a few days. So that's what I did, and I recorded it because I thought, hey, this might make an interesting YouTube video. Hoping my neighbors don't think I'm weird. Oh well, if they come knocking my door and ask what I'm doing, I'll just say it's for a class. It's essentially what it is. It's for a class, if they have any questions. But yeah, so I just figured I'd give some background on what I'm doing. Well, like what this video is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. All those little bubbles that are on the surface. That is really cool. It's like all these little tiny bubbles on the surface of the egg. It looks really neat. Okay, so it's been about 3 hours since I put the egg in, and there's a lot more bubbles and whatnot, and there's definitely a lot more on the surface of the egg, as you can see. So there's a lot of foam up top here. The surface of the egg is very bubbly. We can zoom in. There we go. So you can see a lot of little tiny bubbles. So what time is it? It's around 9:55, I want to say. Is that what the time is? And they said like around 9:55, so like I said, this is around 3 hours after I put after the egg has gone into the vinegar. Yeah, definitely a lot. You can definitely see there's been some activity going on. The egg itself, I can zoom. Well, not zoom, but focus. There we go. The egg itself still seems like the shell is relatively somewhat intact, but there's definitely a lot of little bubbles on the surface of the shell. So yeah, we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Alright, it is 7:50 right now in the morning, so we're gonna go check on the egg and see how it's doing. Okay, so first observation, day 2, bubbles, lots and lots of bubbles. Like seriously, there's so many bubbles on the surface of this egg. Can I go? There we go. Focus. I mean, look at that. That might just be on the container, but you can turn that off. Okay, there. If you can see, if you can look into the egg, there are. Don't mind the noise outside. But yeah, there's a lot of little bubbles on the surface of the egg. I'd say a lot more than there were yesterday after I had left it in there for like 3 hours. There's also a lot of foam. There's a lot of bubbles just everywhere in the vinegar. Also some foam and whatnot. But yeah. Yeah, there's bubbles, alright. Lots and lots of bubbles. You can see on the side, I think that this way you can kind of see what the surface of the egg looks like. What I mean with all the bubbles. Maybe. One focus. Focus. Probably not going to focus, is it? Oh, there we go, okay. So if we can, yeah, so you can kind of see in there, there's some bubbles. I mean, a lot of bubbles on the surface of the egg. So there's like, it's like it's formed like a bubble shell, almost. Okay, so this is the observation I've seen at the moment. And it's been how many hours? I don't know, it's a new day since the last time I recorded any sort of observation. So, yeah. I'm gonna check back on it in another few hours or so and see what happens. Okay, so it's been about 4 hours since I last checked on this egg. There we go. And there doesn't seem to be much of a change. There's still a lot of bubbles. But yeah. So far I'm not seeing a ton of change in terms of the egg. usual bubbles and whatnot, but nothing's really changing. Yeah. Looking at the egg, at least not through the camera, it does look a little like pinkish. So yeah, maybe that's something. It looks a little pink. So perhaps something is happening. The shell's probably being removed. So yeah, it does look a little pink. At least when I look at it throughout with, like, not through the camera lens. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's almost, I guess, like maybe like a peachy color almost. I feel like it's hard to see through the camera because of all the little bubbles. But it does look kind of peachy almost. Okay, I guess we'll check back later and see if anything else has happened with the egg. Alrighty, so it's been about 24 hours since I put the egg in the vinegar, and other than it smelling like horrible because vinegar, there's still like a ton of bubbles, but it also looks like yellow. And can you kind of see that? Like, you can see like right there, like right around here, there's a little bit of yellow. So it's gone from almost like peachy-like to being yellow. It's really interesting. Oh, if I put the light on it, it gets hard to see. If I do it from above, maybe will it be better? Yeah, you kind of see it a little better, like from like above, maybe. But yeah, so it's turned it's turned yellow. Like I said, still a ton of bubbles. But yeah, like I said, it's been like 24 hours since I put it in the vinegar. So pretty much the egg has gone from looking like this, like where it's, you know, white and whatnot and hard, to basically looking yellow. That's interesting. It's very interesting. Hey, well, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. It's looking pretty cool so far. Alrighty, so it is around 7:48 in the morning. Day 3. First observation, a lot of the foam that's been collecting around the top has, for the most part, disappeared. So there's not a ton of foam anymore, like where there was before. Still a ton of bubbles on the surface of the egg, as we can see. Oh, there we go. As we can see, still plenty of bubbles, and it has still maintained that yellowish color. I want to touch it. How does it feel? Ooh. Okay. Oh, if I wipe away some of the, yeah, you can see there's a little, it kind of feels a little like kind of like a hard-boiled egg. Like if you take off the shell of a hard-boiled egg, that's kind of what it feels like. Yeah. I don't know how to describe it. It's pretty much what we got so far. I mean, just yellow in color, still a lot of bubbles. A lot of the foam on top has dissipated though, so yeah. Yeah, we'll check back in later and see what's, you know, going on. Alrighty, so egg update. It is somewhere around 2-ish. I think like it's like 2:07, I believe. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've checked on the egg. And not much has changed this morning. It's still relatively yellow. There's still some foam, but for the most part, it's... Oh, I just realized this, but there's not really a lot of bubbles in the vinegar anymore. Like last few times, there's been a lot of bubbles in the vinegar. Now there's just a lot of bubbles around the egg. Okay, so that's interesting. So there's just bubbles on the surface of the egg, not just in the vinegar as well. It's yellow. It's still yellow. I think it's just going to be yellow for a while. Yeah, still feels relatively smooth. Actually, it's not. I wouldn't say relatively. It's actually pretty smooth. But yeah. All right. So, well, that's the egg check. I think we succeeded in getting the shell removed. It only took about 3 days, I'd say. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. So that's the egg update. Okay, so it's been about 3 days since I last did an update on the egg. But honestly, nothing has changed from the last time I looked at it. Still yellow, and honestly, the only really thing I've noticed is that the bubbles that I've been seeing a lot throughout this experiment, a good portion of those have disappeared off the egg. So, I mean, there's still some, but a lot of them are gone. But honestly, nothing really changed from when I looked at it on the 2nd. And it's the 5th right now. It's Friday the 5th of February. So, yeah. So yeah. This was a really interesting experiment. I thought it was pretty cool. Watching the egg, like go from having like a hard shell on it to basically being soft and whatnot, and yet it's not cooked. Like, it is still raw. So I wouldn't eat this. I'm not sure I would even eat it if it was cooked. There's probably so much vinegar in this thing at this point, it probably would taste nasty. But yeah, so yeah, this has been the experiment I've been doing for class. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little video I made. So yeah, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video I post. So, bye.